over to you, Kit.
Okay, thank you, Looks. Wow, that was a most wonderful introduction to me. And then for those who have not met me before, yes, my name is Kit. That's how it's actually spelled. And let me get on with it, and we can get going. All right. Okay. Okay, so for those who are meeting me for the first time, yes, that is actually my name. I'm from Avita. I'm a platinum director, and yes, my name is Kit. Most people call me Kit for short. Okay, and I guess today we are really going to talk about this thing, right? The Swiss fountain of youth and vitality. Many of you must be very curious. What is this secret all about? Correct. So, well, let's get going on it, right? So let me first introduce myself again. I'm Platinum Director Kit from Avita. And for those, especially for those people who are from international, Avita is a Singapore wellness company founded in 2007. Yes, and for 17 years, we have introduced many life-changing health solutions that's not only slow down aging, but really transform the health of many people from all around the world. And for today, I will be sharing on one of those secrets, this Swiss secret fountain of youth and vitality. Now, let me first transport you back 11 years ago to the year 2013. Right? Now, this picture was actually taken in the Avita office. Now, just take a close look at these two ladies, Lady A and Lady B. Now, who do you think in this picture is the older lady? Right? I mean, you can type your answer inside your chat box. And by the way, you can also type how old do you think Lady A is and how old do you think Lady B is. Okay, I will give you quick 30 seconds. Just put in the chat box. Who do you think is older? You can just type the age down there. How old do you think Lady A is? And then how old do you think Lady B is? Okay, another 10 more seconds. Okay, okay, Tada, I will review the answer. Okay, now, Lady A was named Chun Gyok, and Chun Gyok is actually 57 years old. Okay, how many of you managed to get that answer right? Okay, now, Lady Chun Gyok was a very good friend of the lady besides her. And this lady beside her, today we call Auntie Yo. Auntie O, yes, Auntie Yo is actually 75 years old at that time in year 2013. You see, what happened was that Auntie Yo has been using this Swiss anti-aging secret since the year 2009. So in year 2013, it's already about 4 years she's been using that secret. And what happened? They happened to bump on the street. They almost couldn't recognize each other. And then, Chun Gyok was very surprised at why Auntie Yo was looking so much younger and better. And hence, they made an appointment to meet in the Avita office. And because of this meeting, and after some discussion, and kind of got introduced to what the secret was about, Chun Gyok decided to start herself too, on this secret. And you can see just 4 months later, the transformation. Now, not only did Chun Gyok felt healthier and more energetic, yeah, you can see she also actually looked more youthful. Right now, how many of you all may be asking, okay, fair, I mean, Auntie Yo has been taking for 4 years. So how does Auntie Yo looks right now? Okay, so sit tight on your horses. Yes, this is Auntie Yo in year 2022. Okay, you can see how Auntie Yo has aged so gracefully and beautifully over the last 10 years. In fact, I'm going to show you, this is Auntie Yo in 2023 and Auntie Yo in 2024. And today, Auntie Yo still lives, looking as vibrant and as youthful as she was 10 years ago. And more important, she still drives herself around in town in Singapore. And, her look seems to have been frozen in time. Now, this, my friends, really shows the true power of regenerative wellness with this Swiss anti-aging secret that I'll be sharing today. In fact, I actually term it one of the best kept anti-aging secret in this world. Now, because really, what happened is you can also see now because of this, right? What did Chun Gyok do, right? I mean, this is actually Chun Gyok's mom at 88 years old at that. right? Now, Jungyo, after feeling the the vibrancy and how that secret has kept her more energetic, decided to give this to her mom, who was then 88 years old. And you can see just in a matter of 2 months, just a matter of 2 months, that was how Chungyok's mother actually looked. And I'm going to just fast forward another 2 more years. Wow, look at the differences, right? Now, between the second and third picture, she is still wearing the same pair of glasses, but you can just look at the change, right? I mean, you just one look at the face, she actually, okay, you can see the chi and the vibrancy of it. Now, for a much elderly person, the positive effect of this secret is a lot more pronounced. Indeed, in fact, these photos, you can actually see, her mother actually looked better when she was 90 years old compared to when she was 88 years old. And exactly why I always show this picture, because it was this picture that after I see it, I decided I was going to share this secret with my own mom. Now, this is my mom, and I always tell all the people that I meet, really good health is one of those best gifts that you can actually give to our aging parents. Now, after I've experienced it for myself, I decided then to start my mom on it. And my mom, I'm glad to say, has been using this exact secret for the past 7 years. And, it kept her safe during COVID. And she's actually 88 this year. And last year I was so glad that after COVID was over and when we resumed our Vita Voyager trip, I was so happy to be able to bring her to Spain, and that was actually my picture together with her in Spain. And she could still walk and she could still enjoy life. Now, isn't that beautiful? Now, this is her celebrating her 88th birthday with her friends, and mind you, her friends are all around her are really jealous that the fact at 88, she can still travel, be independent, and then drive herself. And then I always reminds me of this saying by Dr. Paul Nihans. Now, for those who don't know, Dr. Paul Nihans is actually what we term the father of cell therapy, and he has this very interesting line which I, very much appreciate. Now, it's not about adding more years to life that matters, which means that it's not about living longer and so forth. It's about giving more life to years. And that means as we age, we all must strive to live a life of quality. Now, quality means what? Having good health and vitality to do whatever you want, eat whatever you want, really, and have the mobility, to be able to walk, to be able to still be independent. Now, this, I truly believe, ladies and gentlemen, is a gift that we all must give our aging parents, really health, energy, and vitality. Now, it is the best gift that you can actually give to them as they age. And I'm glad I was able to give my mom this present to keep her, as she is, right? Now, the stories that you will hear today, are really real life experiences from some of our dear customers and friends. Now, not of course, not everyone will experience exactly the similar effect, but one thing I am very sure that you will definitely experience, energy and youthful benefits ranging from here. Okay, so let's start our journey. Now, what you're going to learn today, number one, is this secret that you're going to learn this evening is not going to turn you back into a baby, okay? So don't expect that, wow, this secret will turn you back into when you're like, 10, 15 years old. No, no, it will not do that, okay? Now, second thing, yes, it will not turn you the Miss Universe. So if you expect that this thing is like a, wow, voila, become Miss Universe. Nope, this is not where we come. And for the guys, okay, it's not going to turn you into Tom Cruise for sure, okay? Now, so those of you who have logged in this evening and you expect that, to join the talk and hoping that, after learning this secret, you will become one of these, then I am sorry, this is the wrong talk for you. However, the good news is, if right, you are looking for the following benefits, then you have come to the right place. Okay, so let's start. Now, let's of course first understand what is aging. I mean, you hear this word aging used quite often, right? Now, think about it. Aging is like a natural wear and tear on our body over a period of time, right? Now, our cells, which are like little workers, all have a specific job to do. Now, as time goes on, you'll find that these cells may undergo changes and they might not function as well as they used to. Right? Take for example, when you are a small kid or maybe a baby, you get a cut, your cut heals very fast. But I know as you get older in your age, or especially your elderly parents, when they get a cut, it like takes forever to heal. Right? That's when you realize that, the cells just doesn't function as much as what it used to be. Now, cells really age for a couple of main reasons. Okay, now first one is probably a little bit scientific. First is what we call a shortening of structure in the DNA called telomeres, right? Now, the telomeres are like little tails at the end of your DNA strand. And it's like a biological clock, right? Every time when your cells reproduce itself, the telomere get shorter and shorter. So it's like a biological clock that actually ticks down for the cell. Well, not something we can control very much. But second and third reason, why do cells get, or degenerate or cells get sick? Really because of two things, right? One is called toxicity. The other is what we call deficiency. Now, toxicity just simply means that, the cells get poisoned. Now, it can be food, it can be chemicals, it can be whatever it is. Yes, the cells get poisoned. And deficiency literally just means that your cells are not getting enough of the cellular nutrients they need to keep themselves healthy. Now, these two last factors, if you have too much of that, can actually cause a speed up in the aging process. Now, leading to this phenomenon called premature aging, which means that you're aging way faster than what you should be. Now, the good news is there is a ways that you can control these two last factors. So let's get on with it. Now, let me now introduce you to what is cell therapy. Now, so as your cells age, the ability for the cells to function, you do understand, gets diminished. Okay, that's called aging now. When you see a proper cell therapy, what must a proper cell therapy? The first thing that a proper cell therapy must be able to achieve first is to intercept and prevent further damage to the cell. Now, don't you agree, right? I mean, your cells are getting toxicity and deficiency. So first, you must be able to intercept and prevent further damage to the cells. That's important. Now, second thing with a good cell therapy does is this. It enables your cells to then repair and maintain itself. Now, once you can repair and maintain itself, it becomes very interesting because now at least your health is stabilized. Now, finally, the ability to rebuild and rejuvenate. And so, if you're able to achieve these three steps as what a good cell therapy treatment will be able to do, you have found the anti-aging secret you were looking for. Now, of course, we all know what does the rich and famous do. Everybody knows that the rich and famous, the celebrities, they fly themselves all the way to Switzerland, check themselves into one of these clinics, and receive what we call cell therapy treatment. Now, this cell therapy treatment, what are they? Now, they can pay anywhere from my latest information, anywhere from 50 to 100K US dollar, depending on which clinic that they check in, right? For a 2 to 3 week cellular therapy treatment. Now, in this treatment, what it involves is, the doctors inside there will use live cells. Now, sometimes they derive them from the patient's own body, like from the fat tissue, or sometimes they actually extract it from a sheep or human placenta, right? And then what they do is, they cleanse up the cells, and then they extract the stem cells from it, and then they actually inject it back into the body. And in injecting it back into the body, it actually stimulates the regeneration and rejuvenation of the cells inside the body. Now, why do they do this? They basically do this to make themselves look younger, look more beautiful or handsome. Yeah, plus, of course, have more energy and vitality. And that's why you see all these people after they come back from Switzerland, wow, they look younger and they look so energetic and so vibrant. But the fallacy with this type of treatment is every year, you actually need to go back to Switzerland to repeat the same treatment on an annual basis. Now, today, the secret I'm going to share with the good news is you and I, we can achieve the same benefits, but only for a fraction of what these rich and famous celebrities are paying. Well, best thing is we can do it from the comfort of our own home. We need not fly ourselves all the way to Switzerland to do this treatment. Now, isn't that good news? Now, so let me introduce yourself. Let me first introduce you to the world first oral marine cell therapy called Celergen from Switzerland. We also term it the Rolls Royce of supplement. Now sit back and watch the following video. All right, thank you. Wasn't that a lovely video? Okay, now I'm going to go a little bit more detail, and also bear with me for now. Now, launched in May 2009. So it's been a good, 15, 16 years of it, right? Launched in May 2009 in Singapore. Now, Celergen has really transformed the life of tens of thousands of people across the world. Now, Celergen is really formulated with these ingredients that you see down here. The three of them that's actually highlighted in gold color, right? Those ingredients are proprietary and no one else has it in the world. Now, the remainder ingredients, you might take a look at it and say, hey, isn't that, some of the supplements that I'm taking, whether lutein, whether it's CoQ10 and so forth. Now, the difference is, see, these remainder three ingredients, right? You may have come across them, but because of the way the Swiss technology used in synergistically blending all these together with, the first three main ingredients, and that's what gives it superior efficacy, which I'm going to share with you later. Now, remember what I said, prevention begins at the cell with a good cell therapy. So what does Celergen exactly do? Now, remember, number one, now for the cells that are still healthy in the body, right, the highly antioxidant properties of Celergen really protects the healthy cells from all the free radicals. And free radicals are, what is very damaging to the cells. And, it's protected by the, the antioxidant property of Celergen. And this prevents further damage. And this allows all the healthy cells to stay healthy, which is good, right? Remember, prevention, right? Now, number two, what about those cells that are already damaged? Now, for those cells that's already damaged, Celergen provides all the nutrients in the form of very fine cellular proteins and peptides. And what does this do? This enables the cell to repair itself, via a process called protein synthesis within the body. And this is how you help those cells that are damaged to repair themselves so that they can then bring up your level of health. Now, finally, right, Celergen supports the healthy regeneration of new cells. So when your cells are healthy and whatever, the new cells that they are making themselves also becomes healthy. And remember, cells do not stay alive forever. They do have a life cycle where the cells will grow old and then they die. Now, and then they multiply. And when more new cells are formed. So what is important is wherever this new generation of cells that are being produced, you actually want them to be healthier and stronger. And this is what Celergen does. So in a very simple nutshell, this is how Celergen helps with our body in its anti-aging effect. Now, I always tell people that when you are taking something that can affect the cells, okay, a couple of things you must be very aware of. One is quality. And Celergen itself has more than 40 worldwide accreditations, and these are just some of the key ones. Now, everybody knows that number one, Celergen is produced in Switzerland. And that, what does that mean? That basically means safety and quality. Now, for those who have ever taken products from Switzerland will know that, the standards, the stringent standards that actually they put in order to produce any products. And, anything that comes from Switzerland is really best in class. Now, what's interesting is we even have a free sales certification allowing Celergen to be sold in Switzerland. Yeah, that is a big thing because not every supplement that is produced in Switzerland is actually sold in Switzerland. In fact, in countries like Switzerland, they do not even process products that come from placenta. Okay, that's how stringent they are right now. In fact, what is interesting is many Swiss anti-aging clinics, they themselves too are actually using Celergen as one of their tools, yes, for their patients. Okay. Now, another prestigious certificate that I always want people to be aware of is this thing called a BSCG cert. What does that stand for? That stands for Banned Substance Control Group Certification. Now, the BSCG cert basically means that Celergen contains no banned substances. So for athletes, especially those who are competing in competitive sports like in the Olympics or in international sports, right? They are very, very careful about what they take into the body because you don't want to get detected for detection of any drugs, right? So this certificate will show that number one is Celergen is all natural. There is no drugs, no steroids or no banned substances in it. But more important for us, although we are not Olympic athletes, right? What it just means is that I'm assured that Celergen does not have any hormones of any kind. And the good news is, especially, and this is good news, especially for those who are suffering from cancer or some form of hormonal disorder, right? Now, I'm also proud to report that in 2023, and that was just last year, Celergen was actually awarded the most outstanding anti-aging brand award in Hong Kong. Now, this was voted by a panel of doctors and healthcare professionals, and isn't that wonderful news? Now, more impressive, I think, what we are very proud of is Celergen has also received approval from the Health and Science Authority in China. Yeah. For those of you who think that it's very easy to get approvals, from the China Health and Science Authority, you need to be aware, we actually sent Celergen in to be tested for almost 2 years, and I over that time they tested a couple hundred boxes, and
Meatballs,
they
the ones. Are you ready? Left.
can I have somebody mute it? Thank you. Okay. So besides testing hundred of boxes, there's actually evidence-based that Celergen does improve the immunity and so forth before they even allow Celergen to be sold in China. And so we have this very prestigious blue hat logo. So on every box of Celergen that's sold in China, you actually have this little blue hat logo on it that shows that it's actually authorized to be sold throughout the whole of China. Now, what makes Celergen quite superior to many other supplements out there is the various independent clinical studies, right, that have been conducted on it. I always welcome people to go Google, right, say research on Celergen. And you find that a lot of papers and a lot of research actually has been done and a lot of clinical studies. Now, why is that so important? Because these clinical studies are the one that provide you the evidence-based data to prove the efficacy of Celergen against various types of health condition, and that includes things like arthritis, joint pain, cancer, wound recovery, and many other things. In fact, the most recent studies that was completed on Celergen actually was on a studies of fibromyalgia or patients with autoimmune disorders, of how they would fare when Celergen was given to them, So yeah, but by all means go ahead, all these research and clinical studies results are easily available over the internet, and you can go Google for them, okay? Now, enough about facts, okay? Now, let's speak to, I guess, some of the people who has benefited, I would say, from taking Celergen. And one of them is really my good friend Albert, and because Albert has been experiencing Celergen for quite a while now. So let me invite Albert. Come, Albert, why don't you share with the people here your own personal experiences? And I think that'll be very interesting for many of the people here.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Hi, kids. Thanks for inviting me to be in together. I started Celergen because of Daphne.
Ah,
Daphne HFX give me 2 box free. She said, you try. And I said, no, I've been taking Fruitier, all these things, and trying other products. Also trying to get my health back and all the problem that I have. But after 3 months, then I started Celergen. But when I started Celergen, before I was having this problem of disturbed sleep because I used to wake up about 3 to 4 times every night to go to the toilet, and you almost feel like sleeping in the toilet. But I took the liberty of trying Celergen for 2 weeks, and for the first 7 days, there was an improvement started that I said, my toilet trip now become 2 times, 3 times. I say it's not too bad, continue. And of course, as I continue, I find that my wife will say, you didn't go toilet already. You nowadays you sleep like only go once. I say it's improved much better. As for me, not so much about aging or whatever, but I felt that if I take something that can solve one of my problem, that's good enough. But actual fact, it solved quite a few problems that you don't even realize. After a while, you're talking with the rest of the consumer or with kids, with Daphne, then you realize, yeah. I also have the same effect that you realize that the improvement did come in without you realizing that you have managed to relieve more of your problem than you would have discovered. And the best thing was that I have this back pain of sciatica, whereby you have a shooting pain down to your leg when I sit in the car and drive. And I felt after taking the Celergen for about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I find that the pain is still there, but it's getting lesser. As I consume for about a year plus, I can manage to drive now without the shooting pain to my leg. But that's very good because previously even cough also you get that type of pain. And of course I went to a lot of chiropractor. We went to orthopedic, asked them all the questions how to solve my problem. Other than that, they said operation. So who want to operate if you can avoid? And I will just say thank you to Avita thank you to definitely in the first place for introducing Celergen to me. And I'm a consumer for about 2 years plus already. I consume about more than 3 product or 4 product of Avita now. I think it all works together in tandem. And great for kids to invite me to share my happiness and share my problem that I have resolved. I have better sleep now. Sometimes I wake up only once or not even waking up until the morning at 5:30 or 6 o'clock. Thank you.
Albert is very modest. I tell you, when I was in Cambodia just earlier this year, right, this lady walked past and couldn't recognize Albert. And then when she came to me and said, "Hey, are you sure that's Albert?" I said, "Yeah, that's Albert." Okay. I said, "You don't have to convince me. I'm convinced." Okay. So that was so interesting. Yeah, Albert. Now, actually, Albert's sharing is very important because Albert's sharing, his story touched many people, and we actually realized in Cambodia many people had similar issues. So I'm going to share the story of this gentleman called Yutia. I'll let Yutia share because Yutia was actually inspired by Albert's story. Okay.
I want to share some of my history before I use Celergen. Actually, inside my body, before I use Avita, I also got diabetes. Yes, cannot sleep well because of toxic and like feeling stress of work, something like that. And The difficulty is I need to go to toilet 3 times per night. Yeah, and cannot sleep well. But after I use avatar Celergen about 2 months, feel more better. Inside, I only myself to understand inside. Sure, it's a more energy, fresh feeling, sleep well, and I no need to go to toilet at night. Just only in the morning, wake up very quickly, powerful wake up and just go to toilet, take a bus and go to work, something like that. Yes, and most of my friends, they close to me and my wife say that inside myself and see my face is more fresher than before. I start to change my beauty. Yeah, she said that they say that I feel fresh from inside, and like my skin, my face is feel not dry. Yeah, not dry. And what is surprised me more than this is my friend. He had the disease. He did the surgery in Thailand, and he come back. He cannot walk. He cannot sleep well. You know, one night he goes to toilet 10 or 12 times per night. He cannot sleep well. He's stressful, cannot sleep, and he feels hopeless because of he think that he cannot stay longer because he cannot walk. Yeah, he walk like this, he cannot walk. But after I support him to use avatar. Now the same is the duration is same is about 2 months. He got the result only 1 time per night. He go to toilet. Instead, I surprised when I just call to him to see the situation. 1 time per night. We use about 10 or 12 times per night. Now only 1 time per night. He also told me feel energy inside, feeling fresh. Yeah, and he can walk more better than before. Yeah. So now very surprised. Maybe if he can walk well, very surprised and visit him soon. Yeah. I also meet him. Yeah, he stay in Koh Kong. Yeah, it's about more than 300 kilometers from Phnom Penh. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Yeah, bye.
Well, thank you, Yutie. I mean, when we hear that story, it was so touching when you just realize that sometimes you're sharing, you don't know who it would touch. And the best thing with Yutie was she was willing, when he realized the goodness of it, he was willing to share with his friends, and he actually brought the quality of life back to his friend, really. I mean, it's a gift that sometimes, money cannot buy. It's when you have poor health issues, that's when you realize, really health is priceless. Now, Celergen is helpful for everyone regardless of age. Now, this is really my good friend, Dr. Nelly. She's a practicing medical doctor in Singapore right now. Now, notice how Dr. Nelly looks so much better and younger, okay, after 3 years of Celergen, right? Now, the 2 gentlemen beside her is actually her 2 sons who have already graduated and working as doctors right now. Now, especially during the COVID period, all the doctors were all, made to do long hours and duties because, there are so many patients. And Dr. Nelly actually gave her 2 sons Celergen to boost their immune system during COVID period. And, they have the energy there to also work the long hours during that period. Until today, they are still continuing to take Celergen. Now, what about Dr. Nelly herself? Right? Even more important than looks and beauty, right? She experiences the following, right? Definitely the beauty and so forth is so obvious after you look at the picture, right? And it boosts her energy and vitality that, she now, have the energy to exercise, and more important, her sleep quality improved. And what she found was that she was able to go for long walks because her joint and muscle pains improved. And best of all, because, strengthen her immune system, right? Now, of course, more important is this, right? This is actually my, besides beauty. Now, one of the major benefits of Celergen here is really helping with joints pain. Because as, I have many friends who always asking me, do I have solutions for joints pain? And in fact, clinical studies have shown that it does reduce pain from osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis. And it actually does this by stimulating the body's natural healing ability and rejuvenation of the cell. And during one of my visits to KL to deliver a Celergen talk, I met my old classmate friend Jifeng here. Right now, let me invite Jifeng. I think he's on the line today. Let me invite Jifeng, so he can actually share with you on his experience, after taking Celergen. Come, Jifeng, why don't you share with all the audience here, your own experience, on Celergen.
Yeah, thank you, Kit, for inviting me to share my experience of consuming Celergen. Basically, I find that my energy level has gone up. I'm able to easily get through the day without tiring out. And the other significant thing is actually on my knee joint. That I used to have pain on my knee joints. So that has seemed to gone away after taking Celergen for now is about 1.5 years already. But before that, for years I was having pain on my knee joints. I tried glucosamine for almost 2 years. Didn't really help much. Then I started on taking Celergen. After about maybe 3 months. After about 3 months. Now this thing about Celergen is the improvement comes very subtle and very gradually. So I didn't even realize that it was actually doing its good job until one day, I take the public transport to go to work. Then one particular day I was late. So and then I can see from a distance that the train has already pulled into the station already.
Oops, I think somebody muted Jifeng accident.
Yeah. So as I was saying, I needed to catch the train, and so I make a dash for it, and just sprint, run, get onto the train. And it was only then that I realized that, hey, not bad, can still run. The pain seems to be gone already. So, I mean, it has brought such an improvement to the quality of my life. Previously, I was having joint pains, and there are things I could not do. Climbing up the stairs was difficult, but now I'm more confident now. Going up the stairs.
Definitely,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, really, I'm, for myself personally, I'm so glad to be able to bring health to a friend. Really something that, I think once you have gone through that, you realize that actually, something that truly money cannot buy. Okay. So yeah, thank you, Jifeng. I mean, I think your story will go on to inspire many more people. Okay. Now, you say that rheumatoid arthritis is a chronic inflammatory condition. It is also a very early form of autoimmune disorder, right? Now, sometimes for no reasons, maybe because of lifestyle or things, your cells further degenerate and it kind of make your immune system goes haywire. And just like what Pak Angga's wife Ollie was actually experiencing, right? She was having something kind of autoimmune disorder, and that is when the body's immune system kind of like, although it was designed to protect our body, decided that it was going to turn against it and started attacking its own healthy issues and cells. Now, let me invite Pak Angga here because Pak Angga has graciously, consented to come on and share his story. Can I invite Pak Angga? Hi, Pak Angga, where are you?
Good evening,
Hello.
Kate. Good evening,
Yes.
everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, Pak, why don't you share your story? It's always so inspiring.
Well, I think I will just go briefly.
Yeah.
You have mentioned fibromyalgia. What Jifeng has mentioned that he is suffering from the knee pain It's only one little piece, a little bit of what my wife suffered back 20 years ago, yeah, when she was suffering from fibromyalgia. Okay, I will just say that, I will just share that my mind, when we were healthy, I was always thinking supplement is for the healthy and drugs is for the sick or the ill. So when drugs cannot help my wife, all this with her condition, when doctor has given up their ability to cure her, so we turn to supplement. Despite it in our mind, it's only for the healthy. We tried all sorts of alternatives, including the supplement, but with no results. So we became desperate. My wife lost faith in all good food, so any recommendation she would just decline. Until one day, back in 2013, I have a friend who gave me 2 boxes of Celergen to try. Skeptical what it could do, but then I look around in the website, its official website, and I read a story from Dr. Barr, who said his wife was suffering the same disease like my wife, fibromyalgia, and had 80% of the pain taken out. My wife, when I told my wife about this, she was quite amazed, surprised. She said, if I could only get my ache, the whole body, fibromyalgia is a debilitating disease because it causes a total body inflammation, and you feel ache from your head till your toe. So my wife said, if only I can get rid of my ache by 10%, it's more than enough. So we tried, and in short, she progressed very well. She recovered very well, and in 2 years' time, she is back like a healthy, normal person. She has gained back her mobility, her functional mobility, and yes, we still examine her, check up with doctors. This autoimmune disease cannot be cured, so she is still living with it. But somehow this Celergen, this wonderful good food, enable her cell to, what Kit has mentioned earlier, regenerate at a speed that can overcome the damage caused by her body itself. So it's like a tug of war. So she is living healthily until now with a healthy regeneration of her cells. I tried to explain this to her doctors, but the doctors until today could not accept this. But one thing I can say is she's free from all medication.
Yeah.
She is living healthily. We are enjoying our lives now. And I would like to summarize for us, for everyone here who are new. Here is a supplement that is efficacious. Like I like the word Kit said just now, efficacy, with high efficacy. It is, if it can bring such a significant improvement to the sick condition of my wife, so I'm very certain it will maintain we who are healthy in our top condition, optimized condition. And it will add life to our years, definitely.
Yeah, thank you, Pak Angga. And I'm so happy that you're so passionately sharing it in Indonesia right now, because there are really many people who needs, help from all of us. And yeah, Pak Angga right now, I really admire him. He's right now passionately, sharing as to the people in Indonesia, and you know how many millions people there are, and you know many people needs help, and he's just one of one of us spreading this gospel of health. Okay. Now let me go and touch on this topic, because you know there are instances where certain bad genes get activated in the body, and it can lead to serious diseases such as cancer. Now I get this question a lot, right? One key concern by many people is what might be the effect of Celergen on cancer. I mean, since you say that, wow, Celergen is so helpful for cells growth, right? So I'm sure, you know, since, cancer is also a cell, right? Wouldn't, Celergen feed cancer cells? Okay, so I'm going to just share with all of you, some of the findings that we have done. I'm sure everyone here of us have close friends or families who have encounters with cancer, right? Now, one of the most interesting is this, actually Avita commissioned a series of independent clinical research. These results, go Google it, is actually published in many medical journals and they're available on the internet. And if you are those who are really technical geek who really likes to read all these, by all means, go and download the articles and read them in detail, right? Now, I'm just going to summarize that this trial was actually done on two types of cancer cells. One is human liver cancer cells, and the other is pancreatic cancer cell. These two are one of the most virulent cancer, because many people have actually died of them. Now, without diving too deep into the technicals, I'm pleased to report that this is what after our test has shown. Now, first, Celergen was shown to reduce the activity of cancer-causing genes in our cells, and that is very important, right? It actually reduces. Now, second thing, it actually helps to prevent the spread of cancer cells, which is an important element if you are, trying to treat cancer cells, whether through chemo or through radiotherapy. You also want something that could help you to stop the spread of cancer cells. And more important is this thing that it actually causes cancer cells to die naturally from a process called apoptosis. Now, this is really super good news for all of us. Now we actually have a very good chance to prevent cancer from developing. Plus, it is also very complementary during cancer treatment. Now, so how does Celergen complement cancer treatment? Now, first important is safety. Now, Celergen, because you remember it has a BSCG cert, so there's no growth hormones inside, Celergen. And for those who are familiar that, you have experienced before with friends or loved ones who have cancer, you say that the doctor will say avoid anything that have hormones, because the growth hormones might actually trigger the cancer cells. All right. So that's the one good thing. The BSCG cert ensures you there is no growth hormones, and unlike placenta-based cell therapy products, there's something that you got to be conscious about, right? Now, of course, it helps the weak cells to repair and rejuvenate themselves. Now, remember chemotherapy or radiotherapy, although it kills the cancer cells, but at the same time, it actually helps damage a lot of the normal cells, which means it actually lowers down our immune system. And what Celergen is able to do is help the weak cells to repair and rejuvenate themselves, and hence it restores the cell's ability to fight off disease, which means the immune system get boosted. But more important, it helps the cells to remember how to have this process called apoptosis right now. And of course, it restores energy to the cells. One of the things that is very detrimental with some of this cancer treatment is that it leaves the patients feeling very weak. And it's also been shown that the marine cell therapy has the ability to protect your normal cells against radiation, and that's really good news. And of course, finally, it actually boosts the immune system. And this is how actually Celergen can be used to complement cancer treatment. Yeah. Here, I actually would like one of my good friend, Edmund, to actually share his experiences, because I think his experiences are so pertinent to many of you who have encountered with loved ones who have cancer treatment. So can I invite Edmund to share his personal experience of how Celergen has helped supported you? Edmund, so why don't you share with us how Celergen has really helped you with your recovery?
Hey, hi kid, hi everyone. Yeah, my name is Edwin. I basically a cancer survivor. I had my cancer about a year ago in July last year, and basically
all this while I've gone through my health screening and everything, and the last health screen I did last year was fine, and so suddenly, my cancer markers, everything was fine. Then my physician basically asked me to go through a scope, and basically during my scope, the colon scope, we found that there was a tumor which turned out to be colon cancer. So for most people, you think that okay, your healthy is good screening, but you can be told that suddenly you're not healthy anymore. You've got cancer in you. And that's what's happened to me. So to cut the story short, basically what I did was my doctor has suggested that I go for operation, cut off the tumor in the colon, rejoin it back. So I have heard about Celergen for about 2 years before my surgery, because my wife is taking it. She's a kidney patient. So for me, I thought I was healthy, just took it once in a while, things like that. Then came the shock that I had, I had cancer, I had been for surgery. And something that always stuck in my mind about surgery is that I heard in one of the sharings that this guy, before his heart surgery, he took down 6 capsules of Celergen. And before my surgery, I before I was admitted to the hospital, basically the night before, I took down six capsules of Celergen into it. Because I know after my surgery I cannot be taking anything. So I took down six capsules. I went for my surgery. My surgery is actually a 10-inch incision to take out the infected, cut off about 6 to 8 inches of my colon and rejoin it back. And I went through that. Everything went smoothly, and you should believe it. After my surgery, the healing was incredible. I could walk on the first day after my surgery. My surgery was in the morning, and evening I could just go and just move. But the third day, I was to be walking, and the doctor said, "Hey, you're recovering very well." And the fifth day, I was told that if I'm well enough to be discharged from the hospital. So that shows how fast the healing was healing. And also after the surgery, my oncologist basically told me to make sure that all the cancer cells and everything is killed. Okay, before that, the outcome of the biopsy of the tumor that was taken out showed that I'm actually in stage 3, because some of the lymph nodes that was taken out in the state, then I had more than 3 lymph nodes that was affected by cancer cells. So I was put at stage 3, and my doctor basically suggested that I go through chemotherapy. So I went through 8 sessions of chemotherapy in 6 months. And throughout my chemotherapy, I continued taking 2 capsules of Celergen every single day. And my doctor, every time my oncologist, every 3 weeks, he sees me, he keeps saying that you're looking very well. I said, no, I'm feeling very well. I said, do you have any what do you call it? Do you feel like vomiting? How's your appetite? Do you feel nausea and all these sort of things? And I said, no, I don't feel it. I feel very well, because he told me that I should eat well and everything. So I didn't have any nausea or any loss of appetite. I continued eating, and people usually lose weight like during my chemotherapy. Surprisingly. And it was just, I went through all my blood tests, everything was just, according to my wife, red blood cells level, my white blood cells level, everything was within the normal range throughout my chemotherapy for all the weeks. I could go back to work. I mean, one day I'm home from chemo. Sometimes in the afternoon, I can go back to office. Or the next day, I could be walking on the site to walk to my consultants to visit the site, walk up three, four, five floors and they look at me. Don't you need to rest when you're doing your chemo? No, I feel fine. So they were very surprised at that. And even after my chemo of six uh 6 months, because I did do a scan to do a check, and there were some spots that the oncologist said you're not so sure what is it in the body. So he suggested that I go through radiotherapy. So radiotherapy basically is targeted to put gamma radiation to your body, to target the cells. And I also went there after Chinese New Year this year, 4 days consecutively. The doctor said that for any nausea, anything, you feel uh, rashes or anything on your body, to let them know so that they see. And I did not have to worry because I didn't have rashes, I didn't have any nausea, I didn't have any feeling. I even asked the doctor, "Are you sure you're putting radiation to me? I don't feel anything." But after through the radiation and everything, I was doing really my field of health, and up to now, I'm back to normal. And doctor said this come back to your normal. That's everything. I feel fine, and just still continue taking Celergen, gives me the energy and then do and work as normal.
Okay,
That's
wow.
the wonder of this.
Really,
Thank you.
really glad to hear that, Emma. When I met you in KL, I mean, with your liveliness, you don't even look like, yeah, really so glad to that. I mean, this story always remind me really of my, one of my good friend, Florabelle, right? Because this is one of the very first, when I was very early in my Celergen career, this was actually one of the ladies that we actually helped. And really thanks to Daphne, I would like to invite Daphne here to share briefly, because Florabelle, is a very close friend of her. Daphne, why don't you share, with the people, because I think this is one of your more memorable cases, very early on when you were actually, looking to help people. Hello, Daphne. Where are you, Daphne? Can somebody bring Daphne on? Okay, yeah, definitely. Why don't you share, briefly on Florabelle's story, because this story, I guess, is one of your most memorable,
Yes,
one of the
yes, yes.
memorable ones.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, in fact, indeed, actually, Florabelle is joining us today, and she will share. Supposedly, she share personally, but however, Cambodia is always raining. When there is raining, there is traffic jam. So okay, I share with on behalf of her. Yes, she diagnosed in 2019. She was diagnosed with breast cancer. And so she had to go for surgery. And she told me that she had to go through a few rounds of the chemotherapy treatment. And that's why I share with her, hey, why don't you try Celergen? And she started on Celergen before her surgery, and also continue taking it during her treatment. Okay, the biggest difference that she noticed in the treatment was many of the patients feel very tiring after their therapy treatment, chemotherapy treatment, and also have a lot of side effects. And then, but to her, she's still very energetic that even she can travel. Philippines is quite their hometown is quite far. She even can back and forth to hospital from their hospital to home or back and forth for 4 hours, and she don't feel tired, very tired, so she can have a good rest, and then this help her to recover quickly. And then that's why this is more important is that she have a very minor side effect. this is what she told me and shared with me that when she come back to work, she was so happy. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you,
That's all
definitely.
for the
I mean, really,
for
I think this is one of our most touching stories when we're able to touch lives, and this will always remain, I think, one of Daphne's most stirring. Now, Daphne is probably a bit shy, but let me tell you a little bit story about this lady. Okay, now a boss who really cares for her staff, says a lot about the person. And I really am very privileged to have Daphne here as one of my partners in Avita. And thanks to Daphne, I now have business partners in Cambodia. Let me share a little bit about, in 2019, when Daphne first visited Avita office, yes, that was how she actually looked like. Okay. Now, she became very interested in how Celergen could be help her improve her health. And at that time, she was actually feeling very stressed and constantly feeling tired. So she decided to get herself started on Celergen. You can actually notice, and you can notice just, about a month after she started, she already looked different. She probably didn't realize herself. Now, what suddenly triggered her was, one of her good friend, Esther, who has not seen her for a long time, came into office one day and realized that, wow, definitely what happened to you? And then, then definitely at first was kind of scratching her own head. And then she remembered and said, oh, yeah, I'm taking this thing called Celergen. And Esther said, hey, I also want to try. And you can also see, Daphne's transformation through the years, right? Isn't that dramatic? And because of what she experienced and encountered, Daphne saw the potential that, Celergen can bring so much benefit and happiness to the people in Cambodia, and not just in Cambodia, but the rest of Indochina. And indeed, that is how Daphne started building her, her wellness business in Cambodia. And, I'm so happy right now, together with her and, some of our close partners, we are working to get into Cambodia and the rest of Indochina. And I'm sure definitely across your years, why don't you just share with us another of your more memorable case, of the person you have helped, after that you felt so, so touched by that story. Come, definitely share with us another story.
Okay, actually quite a lot of friends that benefit from Celergen. But another memorable experience I had was with Yilan. And because she and her husband had been trying to have a baby but hadn't been successful. So I encouraged that, hey, why don't both of you take Celergen to help to strengthen your body? And then soon after that, they take my advice, and then both of them take together. And soon after that, she became pregnant, and they were so very happy on it. And that is the moment that I liked. That made me, wow, I feel really, really happy and fulfilled. And now I'm working with my partner to go grow this business so that more people in Cambodia is able to benefit from Celergen. And I also inviting like-minded entrepreneurs in Cambodia and around the world to join us and in making a positive impact.
Wow.
This is my mission.
So inspiring. Yes, I think all of us have that mission, and in this type of sharing, right? People to people, network to network, that's enable to build up a sizable customer base in many Asian countries, of course, recently, including Malaysia. And of course, definitely, Malaysia with a population of 34 million, a big country. And yeah, I'm so passionate to be able to work with like-minded friends to grow the business in Malaysia, not just in Malaysia, in Cambodia. And this is me actually giving a talk on Celergen in Cambodia way back in April 2024. It also amazed me how I could have an international business without selling food in the country. And it was maybe about 3 years after I had a presence in Cambodia, I finally set foot in Cambodia and that lovely country. And yes, that is me giving a talk in Cambodia. And it's not just Cambodia. Over the next few years, our mission is really to work and expand together with my partner, not just in Cambodia, but really into the whole of Indochina, right? We are looking at a population of like 250 million, and we are out there to really help many people. And if you find that you are also keen to find out how you too can be part of this unstoppable global health movement to bring quality health and wealth to your friends from all over the world, well, talk to the friend who actually shared this evening's talk with you. Okay. Now, this is very interesting. I'm also pleased to observe, we have an increasing number of doctors embracing Celergen. Now, so why do doctors themselves take Celergen? Here I'm going to share a story about my good friend, Dr. Lucero. Now, Dr. Lucero is well known in the Philippines, right? In fact, in Philippines, he's been given the name as the godfather of plastic surgery. Okay, in Philippines, many of the aesthetic surgeons right now who's practicing, actually have been his students. And his clients include many famous celebrities, business leaders, and congressmen. And he always said, Celergen is the last piece of my jigsaw puzzle to complete my practice. I always remember him telling me this story. He said, if you are 60 years old, I have the skill to make you look like a 40-year-old again. But I cannot make you feel like a 40-year-old again. Hence, this is my last piece of secret, Celergen. Now, with Celergen working on you from the inside out, working is magic from you, the inside out, even though you are 60 years old, I can make you feel like 40 years old again. And that's so important, and I always admire this doctor, that's him with his lovely wife, Tinette. At 78 years old, Dr. Lucero is still practicing, right? He's really a shining example of, how Celergen can keep all of us at peak performance every day, and not even looking our age. And it's not just Dr. Lucero who's actually, adopted Celergen. In fact, there are many doctors all over the world, including in Thailand, in Europe, in US, just go Google it, okay? From Turkey, from different countries, from all over the world, right? Doctors are actually embracing, not just taking it themselves, but also endorsing and using it to help their patients to achieve superior health, okay? Now, by now, I think many of you are very curious, okay? How do you get started? Okay, now okay. Let me guide you on how do you optimize the benefits from Celergen. Now, be mindful that generally our body takes about 3 months to undergo one main cycle of what we call cellular renewal, right? And that's why we have a starter pack that comprises about 6 boxes of Celergen. Now, it takes time, okay? This is not an instant thing. If this is an instant thing, I will actually caution you to be careful about taking it. Especially many of us, our conditions actually develop over a period of a long period of time. That's why you call it chronic, right? And sometimes when we take a medicine, whatever we expect that within 24 hours or 36 hours, we get well. Okay, the body doesn't behave like that. Okay, now, given the right secret, your body will heal itself, but give it ample time. Okay, now, so on average, your body takes about 3 months to undergo one main cycle, and that's typically we will start somebody on a starter pack of 6 boxes, and this is what you do. You take 2 soft gels daily on an empty stomach. Now, why empty stomach? And the way Celergen is discovered, Celergen was not meant to be digested by the stomach. So it is protected with the enteric coating so that it will be protected against the strong stomach acid, and it goes into the small intestine. And once it goes into the small intestine, that's where the enteric coating disperses, letting the cellular nutrients through and gets into the small intestine and subsequently the bloodstream very quickly. Right? So this is what you do. You take two soft gels on an empty stomach. Okay. Now, generally, I would say about 20 minutes before breakfast. My own habit is once I wake up, I pop it in, and I go do all my other stuff, wash, brush my teeth, bathe or whatever it is, and half an hour later, life resumes as normal. Okay, life resumes as normal. Now, I would say allow yourself for a 3-month cycle, right, to assess the improvement. Now, some people may feel it much faster, like for example, Jifeng, right? Within a couple of weeks, she kind of felt the knees got better. Some people may take longer. Now, especially for those, if you are really in the tip top of your health, you might find that, oh, no, it doesn't seem to happen much often. But believe me, Celergen is definitely doing some repair work inside your body, okay? And very important, drink lots and lots of water. Now, your cells are mostly comprises of a big portion of it is water. So when your cells are healing, it actually requires a lot of water. So if you don't drink water, you might find that, you might feel a little heaty. So that's also a sign for you to kind of take in your intake of water. Okay, so that would be my recommendation. And these are really our starter pack that we do recommend. So if you're a single person and looking to try Celergen, the starter pack of 6 boxes would be what I would recommend. Now, but you say that, oh no, now that I've attended this, I think want my family to start because I think it's going to be good for me, myself, and my wife. Then I think a family pack would be quite interesting. You can share between the person, or sometimes we call it the annual pack because that's Celergen for one person for about a year. Now, of course, the most cost-effective pack comes in what we call a family pack. It comes in 25 boxes, and your average cost for every box is much lower. Okay. Now, the good news is, if you were to purchase Celergen right now, all the way to the end of December, now we have a very special offer. With the various purchases that you get. For example, if you start with a starter pack, you are actually given one voucher. And what does this voucher entitle you to? This voucher entitles that in your next purchase, once you produce this voucher together with it, you will be given a box of Celergen. So yes, that piece of voucher actually is worth one box of Celergen with the appropriate purchases. So again, by all means, ask the friends that you have had on the offer available, and then avail yourself of this, yeah. Now, I would just end with this, right? Once upon a time, a friend who cared about my health actually shared Celergen with me. And with that knowledge, I took action. And this evening, your friend who cared about your health has bothered to share this wonderful anti-aging secret with you. And yeah, take action and get yourself energized today. Okay. Now, thank you. And let me pass you back to our lovely host for the evening. Looks, all yours.
Thank you, Kit, for very, very educational and insightful sharing, especially from your guests, like Ji Fong, like Albert. There are some questions that are asked. Would we have some time to ask for questions?
Yes, I think I have. But let's give it 15 minutes, and then yeah, let's bring on the questions, and yeah, I will answer them. This is a good time to ask questions. Just type in the chat box. We'll pick it up as it goes along. So
Okay.
yeah, looks what's the first
Okay, the first
question?
question, heavyweight question. What clinical studies are there conducted for Celergen? I know you mentioned some of them, but what exactly are some of these clinical studies?
Okay, so I guess one of the more popular clinical studies that many of them Google about, just go into internet and Google Celergen cancer, and you can see actually the studies that comes up. You can also Google Celergen research. There are a number of papers that comes out. That will include studies into like how does autoimmune diseases, how does fibromyalgia patients after taking Celergen, what their experiences like, and the studies that show, in the lab environment, how does cancer cells works against, and for joint pain, clinical studies, I would actually strongly recommend that you go to the website. It's called www.swisscelergen.com. Just type swisscelergen.com. You will find that there's a header that's actually called clinical studies. Click on it. It actually summarizes all the clinical studies very well. Okay, includes things like giving you energy and vitality, reducing in pain, tested against things like arthritis and so forth. By all means, go there and Google. It's all on the internet, and just take your time and read. And if there are questions, just get back to the friend who's recommended you, and then I think by all means we'll be happy to get back to you, one-to-one. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Kit. You mentioned that there's a lot of studies, but I didn't hear studies on eye issues like cataract. Can Celergen help cataracts?
Now, in Celergen, there's lutein, and you all know that lutein is very good for the eyes, right? And then the other, we have many of our, friends who have like cataract and glaucoma, and they actually felt that after they took Celergen, it eases the pressure on the eyes, it eases, it does help them with their eye condition. And again, overall, because when your cells remember, this is cell therapy, right? The Celergen will go throughout the whole body and repair, starting with the weakest part. And of course, in your eyes, those eyes are also cells. So in a way, Celergen would be, will bring benefit, and of course, the lutein itself does bring benefits to those with eye condition. You're talking about very specific clinical studies. I don't think any of them has been conducted. It's really based off our experiences of friends so far who have experienced taking Celergen against, conditions like what I said, glaucoma. Now, we do have cases of where it's helped surgery recovery. People have had retinal detachment, for example, and then, after the doctors, stitch it back, then they actually use Celergen to accelerate their healing. Okay, acceleration of healing, there are clinical studies that's being done that shows that, Celergen do help in accelerating healing, right?
Okay, thank you for that. Your answer to that question, including post-surgery involving eyes, you can actually take Celergen to speed up the post-op
Yeah,
recovery.
post-ops,
Okay,
any type of ops, yeah.
ops. Including, let's say, for example, somebody who's undergoing, let's say, heart surgery, so they can take it together, or after their operation to take it together.
Yeah, definitely. I've shared with many of my friends, including those who are on stroke and so forth, especially stroke. During a stroke, many parts of your bodies are actually damaged. And the faster you can have them take Celergen, it actually helps them to speed up the recovery. So including any surgeries, because basically the study shows that with the help of Celergen, wounds do heal faster. That's why a lot of aesthetic surgeons love Celergen, because one of their key thing is after they operate on the face, there's scarring, and with Celergen, I think minimizes scarring, and the healing is much faster. And that's why it's one of the
Yeah.
favorite tool for Dr. Lucero.
Yes. Okay, I understand. Another question that is asked is, if a friend is a vegetarian, can she take Celergen? Because Celergen, it comes from, bio-DNA.
Yeah, so to be more exact, Celergen, the main ingredient is actually extracted from fish, right? From fish milk or fish sperm, right? So it's definitely is from a marine animal. Again, you have to decide for yourself, right? I mean, that's a question, it depends on what type of vegetarian you are. If by religion is very strict that you cannot take it from live animals, then Celergen is definitely a no-no. But if you are a vegetarian by choice because you think it's a healthier diet, but then if you do have a health condition, and if Celergen is able to help with the health condition, then you have to kind of weigh, I guess, the benefits against that. It's one of I'm reminded of a friend, after weighing that, decided that, if I'm healthy, I can actually do more good and so forth. So he made his own informed decision, right? So for now, if you inform me that is this suitable for like vegetarians, if you are against taking of live animals, then of course Celergen will not be suitable for you. But again, we do have some other solutions depending on what type of health conditions you have. Do share that with a friend who has introduced you, and we may be able to come up with some alternatives, for you to consider. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much once again. What about kidney patients with kidney issues, especially when the kidney index is very low?
Then
Would
if the kidney,
would you
yeah,
recommend
I would
Celergen?
say if the kidney still has functions, then taking Celergen would has the possibility to help the kidney to maybe slow down the degeneration. But what we have also learned, actually, for kidney dialysis patient, let's say if you have reached the stage where you already have you need to undergo dialysis, it's actually very helpful. In fact, I think we do have a friend here, Chris. Maybe I'll have Chris share her story. because Chris actually does undergo dialysis, and Chris, found that Celergen was very helpful for her. Chris, would you happen to be around today? Yes, I think I saw
She's
Chris.
around. She's around. Chris,
Yeah.
would you be able to unmute yourself as well as on your video? Thank you, Chris.
Hi,
Welcome.
Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Yeah. So yeah, Chris, why don't you briefly share with the audience here, for those who's interested as to, how it has helped you, Chris. Chris, I only see a black color you.
Chris,
Uh,
can you are you ready? Are you okay to share?
Okay,
Edmund, yeah.
Chris, is it
Edmund.
me? I'll pass it to the thing to you
Yeah,
because
okay, yeah. Why don't you
her
just sit her
connection is
in the
not very
chair?
good.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Hi. Yeah, I just came back from dialysis.
Ah.
So do I look tired?
Hi, Chris. Yeah, Chris, why don't you just share
Yeah.
your own experiences of it? I think many people will be interested,
Yeah, actually when I started, I didn't know I was looking for an alternative to trying to get my kidneys to heal back. But I mean it's it, actually it was a dead end already because it's totally failed. And I when my doctor introduced Celergen, I just diligently take it down every day for nearly 3 years, and suddenly somebody saw that it's working. So you look different. To me, I don't feel anything. I only feel very active every day. After dialysis, I still feel active, and then I also noticed that I do not visit the doctors so much anymore. No more hospital appointments. So that was a good news. Yeah, and also my heart it improved in the performance, and I got discharged from the heart clinic all because of Celergen. Actually, it's all because of taking Celergen. Because after taking Celergen, I stopped all the other supplements.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Wow, great. I mean, really great, Chris. I mean, I think your story will really go on to inspire many. Really, because of this, even my brother-in-law was on dialysis. I actually got him started on Celergen because, again, after dialysis, you actually feel very weak.
Good.
Okay. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah.
I think we do
Okay.
have time for maybe one last question. Look, Huang, do
Okay,
we have one last question?
one
I don't think we're
last
going to be able to
question.
answer everything, but yeah,
Usually
one last question. Yeah.
usually there's a lot of people who ask this question. Is Celergen like some sort of stem cell supplement?
Okay. Yeah, it's a very popular question. Okay.
Yeah.
The one of the thing I always explain to people, when you talk about stem cell therapy, be very conscious that stem cell therapy can only be administered via injections, right? That's why you realize that they fly themselves into clinic. You have to do it under the supervision of a doctor and so forth. Now, why is that? So because for stem cells to be preserve and be active, stem cell actually has to be stored under sub-zero temperature. Yeah, that's how they actually store. For those of you who are familiar with like how they extract the baby cord blood, right? Like recently in Singapore, there was quite a well-known cases. This clinic actually extract the cord blood of babies to be preserved for future, health use, right? And once they extract all these cord blood or what you call these cells, they got to preserve them in very sub-zero temperature in order to preserve them. And it's only on the day of the treatment itself, typically, then you kind of bring these stem cells back into room temperature, and then before you can inject them into the body. So, if somebody tell you that an oral supplement is the stem cell supplement, they will say that, they don't really understand the science of it. Right? So stem cell treatment cannot exist in the form of an oral supplement. Right? So that's why I was explaining to people that, Celergen is not stem cell. The Celergen is really food, not food for the body, but food for the cells. But when you can provide that, very superior food for the cells, it actually triggers the body to start to cell heal. And that's where a lot of the rejuvenation effect comes into play. Also, be very cautious if somebody tell you that what you consume is a stem cell. Just we think that stem cell treatment cannot exist in the form of oral consumed supplement. Okay. So yeah, so I think that's really all the time we have questions for. I do notice that there are some other questions. No worries. I think channel the questions to the friends who's invited you for the talk, and we'll be sure to get back to you. On your some of your questions. Okay. So yeah, Lu Huang, thank you so much. Thank you everybody for
Thank you
your
everybody
attention.
for
Yeah.
your attention. Thank you very much. Thank you, Kit, for sharing with us, your wealth of knowledge with regards to Celergen and your experience about how you have helped many of your friends, not just simply in Singapore, but in Malaysia, in Cambodia, how they can up their level of health through Celergen. With that, thank you very, very much, everyone. But before we say goodnight, could we invite you to on your video so that Alvin can take a group photo? Isn't it all right? Something to remember? Okay, is everybody ready?
Alvin, where are you?
Alvin, where are you?
Haven't been seeing you for a long time.
On your video, on your
Come,
video.
everybody on your video
On
and
your video. And then heart emoji, lots of heart emoji, all right, to Alvin. I know, sorry, to Kit as well.
to
And
Kid,
to
yeah.
Kit.
To
All right, and to
everybody.
the service crew. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
3.
Hey, some people still not turning on your video. Come on, give you one more chance.
Don't be
One
shy,
last
don't be
chance.
shy, don't be shy. On your video.
All right, yeah. Show your love.
Show your love for everybody here. And the most, all right, love should go to a Kid. Thank you so
Okay.
much for your sharing.
And may all of you be healthy, yeah? Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, give a nice.
Wow, so much love.
Oh.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
正能量.
All right.
All right, and many of you get synergized today.
Yeah, thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Good night,
Have a
everybody.
good rest. Thank you.
Thank you. Good night,
Bye. Thank
everybody.
you.
Good night. Good night.
for taking a photo.
Good night.
Thank you, Kit. Thank you,
Sure.
Looks.
Thank you.
Night.
Thank you. Thank you. Good night. Good night.
Albert can stay back.
Good night, Edmund. Good night,
Albert
Chris.
can
Good night,
remove.
Grace.
Yes.
Okay, still good night, everybody.
Good night.
You can
Good night,
exit.
everybody.
Good night.
Can stop the
Everyone.
recording.
Oh yeah.